I'm officially 1 month out from my half marathon PR attempt where I am going for a sub 140 half marathon. In the last few months, I've been balancing college soccer and half marathon prep, thinking the two could both be built together. But the truth is, I've been training at a suboptimal level, but this week marks the end of that old routine. My last week of soccer is right now. I have one more training session tonight and then 2 games this weekend, and then start something completely new. Starting next week, I won't have soccer training or soccer games, and I'll be exactly 1 month out from the race. So I'll finally be able to put everything I've got into running. So stick around to see what this next month is gonna look like. But before we get there, let's do this 9-mile tempo run. I'm already 2 miles into this 9-mile tempo run and just got done with the first fast mile of this run, which I held a 7:23 pace. The goal for these fast miles is 7:30, so a little faster than what the target is, but just my legs are, well, my whole body is just so fatigued from soccer training these past few months. And like last night, my legs just got beaten from training. And I mean, I can feel it. I felt it on that warm-up mile, then especially during that fast mile. But just gotta keep my head up and push through the pain for now, because it's gonna pay off on race day and just later in the training. So just gotta push through the pain, because this pain is temporary. So I'm gonna keep pushing. Second set is complete. We're 4 miles into this run, and that second fast mile, I ran 7:25 pace, which is still just under the target pace, which is good. Staying quick, and honestly, like, I am so uncomfortable right now. I'm in a little bit of pain, and my legs are super fatigued, and it would be nice just to stop this run right here. It would feel a lot better, but I am forcing myself and teaching myself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. It's a quote that Nick Bayer always says, which is controlled discomfort. And honestly, this is the type of run that really teaches you that. I mean, going from slow to fast with already fatigued legs, it's quite uncomfortable, but I'm out here doing that, and runs like this are gonna be what allows me to push through the pain in the last 3 miles of my half marathon race, when my legs start to feel fatigued and my body and mind just wants to quit and be done and call it a day. But these runs right here, just being in controlled discomfort, this is laying the foundation, and it's gonna be runs like these that decide whether or not I get my PR or whether or not I reach my goals. So you just gotta keep pushing and be comfortable being uncomfortable. Third fast mile complete, and I just hit the goal pace of 7:30. That fast mile felt definitely harder than the first 2, which makes sense. We're now 6 miles into the run. Legs were already fatigued, but no matter what, they're gonna fatigue this far into a run. But you just gotta keep pushing through the pain, and like I said before, just being comfortable, being uncomfortable. It's not super enjoyable in the moment, but afterwards you feel so good about you just feel good, you know? Like after that last fast mile, it was like, damn, that was a big effort compared to the other fast miles, but it feels good to know that I was able to still hit that 7:30 pace goal. And what I'm trying to say about that last fast mile is that you gotta be willing to put in the work and not see a result until after all the work is done, which, I mean, that's just a really short-term push of a mile fast with my legs hurting and being fatigued. But the fact that I pushed through and still reached my 7:30 target pace, it feels good and rewarding. And now you just gotta keep pushing through the rest of this run till we're done. Woo! That last fast mile is complete, and huge effort. Out of the 4 fast miles, that last one was the fastest with a 7:21 pace. Now, I'd say that's a huge effort, right, that I had to put out there, but some might say it was massive. And I like that. But maybe I could have said that, oh, I'm not going to be able to put a high effort into this last fast mile since the 3rd fast mile was a 7:30 pace. But in these high effort runs and just these high effort miles, you have to first believe you can hit the target pace. You got to believe that you can surpass the target pace, and that's the biggest thing, is just belief in yourself. I believed I could hit a negative split on that last fast mile, and guess what? I went and hit a negative split. So whatever goal you're chasing, you gotta first believe you can hit that goal, and then you go out and you put in the work and you hit that goal. But just got a cool down lap or a cool down mile, and we're done. 9-mile tempo run is complete. Felt really good. I mean, obviously other than my legs being as sore and fatigued as they were from soccer, it was a good run. I met my goal paces. Now I'm gonna talk about how my training is gonna look starting next week, now that this run was my last endurance training session during my college soccer season. But before I talk about what my training is gonna look like starting next week, I'm going to first quickly go in depth into the training run I just completed and how it plays into the big picture of my half marathon PR attempt prep. Like I said, I just want to reflect on my old training plan that I've been following for 2 months now, since my soccer season started. And I've kind of alluded to it really in every video. Doing soccer and training for a half marathon PR, it's a lot. There were weeks that were more manageable than others, but this week and last week have been a lot. I mean, but I for sure this week, which just doing mobility sessions, I haven't been doing them as consistently this past week, and that's a big reason why my legs are as fatigued as they are. But at the same time, my training sessions before, I didn't let the fatigue control the outcome of my training sessions. I still pushed through and reached the goals that I said I was going to reach, the goals that I set. I didn't let the fatigue
affect my training because I really want to reach my goal of a sub 140 half marathon, as well as my goals in the future, and I need to reach this goal first in order to reach my goals in the future. Which, for context, I've been lifting 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I've been running twice a week, Tuesday, Thursday, but then I would have soccer training every weeknight, Monday through Friday, and then usually 2 games on the weekends on Saturday and Sunday. So it was a lot. It was 7 days a week of training, and that was for a little over a month straight. That's been going on, that I've had games on the weekends, soccer training every weekday, running, lifting. That's a lot for someone's body. I mean, obviously, like I said, the mobility helps a ton, but now that the soccer season's ending though, I can put a much greater focus on running, which I plan to run every weekday, as well as a long run on the weekend, still having a great focus on mobility and recovery, because if I'm going to have big endurance goals in the future while still wanting to play soccer, I have to really lock in my mobility and recovery routines so I don't get hurt along the way. So that's what my training plan looked like the last 2 months during my soccer season. But now that soccer season is over, my training plan is going to look drastically different. So let's get into exactly what that training plan is going to look like. I'll still be lifting 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm going to be running 6 times, Monday through Saturday. The general structure will be a threshold run on Mondays, and then an easy run on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays, for the first time ever, I'll be going and doing track workouts, which will either be 6 400-meter repeats or 6 800-meter repeats. And then Thursdays will be just another easy run. And then Fridays will be a tempo run like I did today. And then Saturdays will be the typical long run that a lot of runners do on the weekends. So for me, that'll be 11 or 10 miles on the weekend. So that's just a quick preview of what my new training plan will look like for the last month of training. So with that quick preview out of the way, just a quick recap of what was covered in this video. I had my 9-mile tempo run this morning where I talked about being comfortable, being uncomfortable, and being willing to put in the work when the reward isn't going to be quick. And then from there, I talked about and just reflected on my old training plan that I've been doing, and then how I'm pivoting out of soccer with the end of my season, and then the quick preview of my last month of training and what that's going to look like. But if you made it to the end of the video, you can continue watching with this video here, which was last week's video talking all about how slow running actually makes you faster. So if you want to figure out how that makes sense, you can click on that video right here. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay relentlessly intentional and playfully serious.